Yeah, so first of all, Coach, you started off with a hot start, 14-0, and then momentum shift. What do you chalk that up to, the change in momentum or whatever?
Yeah, we just kind of had a lull there, and was really pleased with the way we started the game off, and jumped out on them, 3 and out on defense, and drove down and scored, and repeated that again. So was pleased with the start of the game, preparation, everything else. But as they always say, a 14-point lead's in the worst. A 2-score lead's not a great lead. Sometimes you have the tendency to let your guard down. That's when you've got to go for the kill, and we didn't. And we had many opportunities in all three facets. Defensively, we drop a pick six, up 14-0. Special teams wise, we scheme it, and we've got a guy running scot free to block a punt on the 10-yard line, and we completely whiff. We take over offensively on the 44-yard line, up 14-0, and do nothing with it, 3 and out. And so, all three phases of the game had an opportunity to extend that lead to 21 points, and I think you get a different ball game, and we didn't do that. And we've got to find that killer instinct and put teams away when you have the chance, and we didn't. And Abilene Christian is a good football team. They went several rounds deep in the playoffs last year, won their league for a reason. They're very well coached. They don't make mistakes, and so you let a team like that back in the game as we did there, they're going to find a way to beat you, and they did do that. And it was just a catastrophic, really 12 and a half minute series there, last 7-8 minutes of that second quarter, and then the start of the third, that we just completely lost the game. And so that was disappointing because I don't think we had our best effort throughout the game.
And then, speaking of that, 10 penalties, 92 yards. What do you got to do to clean that up?
Yeah, I think that, there's three things that really, it was a sloppy game overall. Both teams had a lot of penalties, and I don't think Coach Patterson's pleased with his group either, and I think both teams are better than that. And those are things that are fixable, but, the ones that happen during the snap are they happen in football, but it's pre-snap and post-snap penalties that are killers, and those were addressed this morning, I promise you. And so that's fixable. You missed tackle, but you mentioned it. 10 penalties, 92 yards. 92 yards is about the length of a football field. That's one score. Yeah. We lost a one-score game. Missed tackles, we gave up 95 yards after contact on missed tackles. That's another 100 yards. That's one score. We lost a one-score game, and then the third thing I think is just turnovers. We're -4 in the turnover margin right now as a team. That's a team stat. We're not creating turnovers like we need to be, and we're turning the ball over offensively. And so you go -2 in a game, you're going to lose 85-90% of those games. And so we've got to fix those things, and that's what's good about it, is all three things are fixable.
How healthy are y'all to come out of this?
That was a tough game. I think we lost our starting running back first play of the game. That was a bruise, and then you saw several others going down through that game, and so we started the staff meeting yesterday with the injury report, and 30 minutes later we got to football. So you have two good teams like that play sure. A hard physical game, because it was a good football game, right. and well played, played hard. I was proud of our guys playing all the way 60 minutes as Abilene did, and that's what you get. And we kind of build that thing that was a playoff game, and that's one of the things we talked about after the game. Everybody was hurting, right. And you want to win. But guess what? You take a poll, the other team wants to win too. It's consistency and attention to detail is what matters. And so, all right, you had two good teams play. This was built as a playoff game. This is what it feels to lose in the playoffs. You seniors, your career's over. Right. Everybody in the locker room, your season's over. That's what it feels like to lose late November, early December. And so hopefully, we're able to learn some lessons from that and maybe pay a little bit closer attention to those details and be more consistent in our play, where we don't let our guard down over a 12-minute, 4-minute, 6-minute, whatever the case may be, and play 60 minutes of consistent football, and you're going to feel a lot better afterwards.
Right. And then looking ahead, Sul Ross State this week, what do you expect from them?
It's hard to tell. They've played one game. They've got a brand new coach, Lee Hayes. I've got a lot of respect for him. Coached He was offensive coordinator for my dad back in 2006, and he is a heck of a football coach, has had a very storied career. And so, I know he'll do a good job out there, Sul Ross, but he's had one game. And so we don't have a lot to go off of. And our focus is on us. The things that we fell short on this week are all fixable, and they have nothing to do with next week's opponent or anything else. And that's kind of was a message to the team today after practice is don't be outcome based. Whether we had made the plays to win it Saturday or not, which we didn't, the process is still the same. We've got to get better as a team from, Saturday night to this next Saturday night and then the following week and the following. So that's where focus is on us this week, and we've got to be a better football team, 7 days from now than we were right now.
How excited are you about being at home?
Now that's awesome, because this was a tough, 1-2 punch coming out the gate on the road against a Big 12 opponent, on the road, a top 15 opponent. And so, it is going to be really fun to get back home. We get 3 in a row here at Homer Bryce. And so I know our students, I spoke to the largest freshman class in school history a few weeks ago at the Hollered Homer, and they're excited and fired up. And I know everybody else around town is. We got a really good football team and ready to get home and show, our Lumberjack faithful what we're all about. And so it'll be fun night, Saturday night at Homer Bryce.
Coach, one more question for you here. On the defensive side of the football, it seems like Jaden Southern and Malachi Williams off to a pretty good start so far this season for us. What have you seen from that group and kind of how they're flying around the football? Yeah,
that's our linebacker core, and that's where we needed some people to step up. And I think Jaden is playing at an all-conference level right now. He is roaming sideline to sideline and in a hurry. We've had obviously a lot of NFL scouts in, see Charles and several others of our seniors, and he's popping up on their radar. Who is this number 6, And so he's playing really well. Malachi Williams had a big forced fumble there in the fourth quarter, which helped us there and got the ball back for us. Now we just got to finish. We didn't even really talk about the fourth quarter, golly. We played well in the fourth quarter, had a 19-play drive and a 13-play drive. Defense got us the ball back, and offense marched it down. Then we just fizzled and came away with no points there. And a one-score game, that would have come in handy. But very pleased with those guys at the linebacker core, and Coach Rogers doing a good job with them. And I think our defense is hungry to get back out there, and they don't like giving up any points. And I think we got a chance to have a really stout defense this year, and those two guys are a big part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Axel.